All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and
round one is over and done.
It is, and very interesting,
bro.
Giants trade down, Cowboys trade down, Eagles trade back up. The Eagles get their wide receiver they need. Dallas gets their replacement to Deshaun Lee.
Yep.
And the Giants do the unforgettable.
I'm not knocking the trade back. Can we get the first round pick next year and next pick this year? But Kadarius Toney, come on, man.
Yeah.
Kwity Paye, come on, man. Come on.
Everybody's sitting there at the 20th pick that you could have had from Darrisaw, Rousseau,
Kwity Paye.
Kwity Paye.
It's insane.
Even Khalid Farley being there, who I really would have stayed away from with 2 back surgeries.
Yeah, I know.
But listen, Tennessee took a gamble on him.
But yeah,
and they better hope it pays off, because if it don't, Tennessee.
Sorry, Pimpin.
It is what it is. Obviously, you gotta give the Jets credit where it's due. They went with the quarterback they were going to get.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't comfortable at sitting at 23. They had to move up, and they got the offensive lineman they needed. They got Tucker out of USC. They had to. I was telling my uncle earlier when I posted that we were going to pop on live today. And, I got to give the Jets their due. If you had to grade the Jets draft right now just for the first round, it's an A++.
All down.
Because
Miami, too.
Miami, I was surprised, really kind of passed up on getting a running back. Right then and there, I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, but there's also, there's that from UNC, there's that Michael, what is it? Carter, I think it is, and Javon Williams.
Yeah.
So they're still out there, And they got Jalen Phillips, the defensive end. He's nasty with it.
And then the Falcons had to go out and get what they got.
Mr. Pitts.
And listen, Pitts is going to be a problem in that NFC South. I'm just telling everybody right now. Not a lot of people. Not a lot of people are going to be able. He's
a fucking matchup nightmare, dude.
He's a taller
Megatron.
He's a taller version of a Rob Gronkowski. That's going to be a problem with more talent.
Motherfucker did not drop one pass last season. They dropped one pass.
That's how I look at Kyle Pitts. He's the younger version of more talented Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah.
And trust the grind and grease. So, hey, listen, I'm just calling, not to take anything away from Gronk, because Gronk is that bulky, built guy that should, honestly, he'd probably be better off in WWE, even though he can't jump off a freaking stage to save his life. But
he's got the tall, long leg, the long stride too, yo.
You kind of knew Atlanta was going to go that route, especially after San Francisco kept their pick so close to the vest. Like, literally, they could have went anywhere.
Yeah.
And Patriots fans, we're going to trade up to get Mac Jones. You didn't have to. Because Mac Jones
landed and
fell and fell and fell and fell and fell right in Belichick's lap. The same way that the Asian at the massage parlor fell right on the Robert Kraft's dick.
That's exactly why Chicago traded with us, because they honestly had a feeling that New England was going to take field at 15, so they had to get up there somehow. And then the Eagles hopped us because they thought we were going to take Devontae Smith.
Well, they might as well not have traded that pick and gotten Devonta Smith then, because getting Tony you could have gotten the second or the third round.
Yeah.
Okay, and again, Gettleman makes, and again, you don't knock him trading back.
No, I don't knock that at all.
What you knock about it though
is the pick.
Is simply,
I'm sorry.
You have enough offensive weapons.
We have like 10 slot receivers, and we just added another one.
Okay, and he's not going to fit the offensive scheme when you don't have an offensive line to protect Daniel Jones.
And so, Saquon Barkley is coming back, and who's going to open up the lanes for him?
Well,
another 20 CL. There you go.
And that's what I said. I said, I swear to God, if the Giants take Najee Harris here, I said I'm gonna be pissed off. And
what did I tell you though?
And I was thinking about it on the way home from the gym, and I said, if the Giants were to have taken Najee or a team at that spot, they're pretty much telling Barkley, you either play your worth this season,
or you're out,
or you're gone.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, and I said it months ago. Back to when I did this by myself. I said it when you started doing it with me, and I'm saying it again. Joe Judge should have been the one to draft, to be doing the draft, not Gettleman. He is absolutely retarded.
Dude, we could've
Again,
found-
another head-scratching pick that makes you just go,
Exactly. Like, dude, oh my god, I can't, man. Because right after us, bro, Kwity Paye got taken. I'm like, okay, cool, awesome. Minnesota, Christian Darrisaw. Yeah, great, fucking awesome.
See, Minnesota, I thought if they didn't trade out, would have taken Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Because Kirk Cousins is $84 million worth of trash just sitting in a garbage bag, just lit on fire. That's all he is. And
what surprised me too, also, bro, was this fucking Jamar Chase. Was the Miami Jalen Waddle. That surprised the shit out of me.
with
And
Boggles,
Detroit, with Penei Sewell, that's small pick.
well, there's people already coming out that said that he's already going to be a Hall of Famer. The kid hasn't played it down yet. I get he was a beast in Oregon,
But we're talking about the NFL.
but let the kid play it down first. And the same thing with Jets fans, all hyped up about Zach Wilson. Wait till he's on the center. Wait till the pressure is on you. That, especially that New York pressure. Wait for that.
Yeah.
Wait for that. And then let's see if you are the end-all, be-all. Okay? But again, you cannot. There's nothing you can say. If you're a Jets fan and you're going to shit on your draft picks, go blow your fucking head off. Really do it. Because with the second pick, if you didn't go Zach Wilson, they were going to take Trey Lance. Or they would have took Justin Fields.
Yes.
Okay. You traded out of the 23rd pick. Yeah, you gave up a little more to move, but think about how many spots you moved up. You moved up 9 spots.
Yep, 9 spots.
To go get the offensive lineman you needed.
And
If you're a Jets fan knocking that,
dude, I would have loved that.
I'm sorry.
I would love to have him, but whatever. It is what it is. It's over. I can't go back in time and fucking whatever.
I'm just glad Gettleman's not my team's GM, because if with the 24th pick and Gettleman was our GM and he took Tony with the 24th pick,
we need somebody to get to the quarterback.
I'm not doing this podcast right now because I'm all the way. I'm headed all the way to Pittsburgh to beat the shit out of Gettleman if he was my GM.
Fucking Gettleman.
And
Yeah, I'm talking to you, fucking Gettleman.
and because I was watching, because during the draft I was watching the Steeler Nation podcast, which we got shouted on. Yeah, that's right, we did.
Right.
And god damn, it's windy today, but whatever.
It's still a beautiful day though.
So, and it's weird because somebody had to have been at the draft knowing who was being picked before the picks came out. Because literally I knew 5 minutes before anybody knew. I'm like, oh, well, the Lions are taking Sewell here with this pick. And, and Jamar Chase is going to Cincinnati. Which, Cincinnati, listen, I was on Twitter reading every Cincinnati Bengals fan's tweet. They do not like Joe Burrow. Cincinnati, as an organization, must not like Joe Burrow because you have no offensive line to protect him. And what do? You get Jamar Chase. Why? Because they played at LSU?
I would have went Penei Sewell there. I would have.
That's Cincinnati's biggest hole. You could have got a wide receiver anywhere else in this draft, like we discussed last night. There's wide receivers all over this draft, from the second round to the very end, to the Mr. Irrelevant pick. Okay? And Cincinnati, I give you a huge F. Because you fucked up. You might as well just throw the rest of your draft away now. You literally took a kid with all the talent in the world and you just threw him to the Wolves to die.
Wait, what? You literally 4 or 5 games in and he was down.
You threw him to the Wolves now for T.J. Watt to destroy you. You threw him to the Wolves for Myles Garrett to destroy you, Alex Highsmith to destroy you, and anyone else the Bengals play this year. This kid's going to get eaten alive again, and by week 5 he's going to be in a body cast.
The Colts, Kwity Paye's going to destroy him.
And after the Giants pick, and then here come the Colts, and they pick the guy you should have got. Here comes Buffalo, picking Greg Rousseau. And you know what's weird?
Christian Darrisaw.
You know what's weird watching this draft? Like when Jamin Davis got drafted to... Who took Jamin Davis?
Jamin Davis was Washington linebacker.
Yeah, and a lot of the 20 Washington football team fans that were there were all like...
Can they draft?
But then, you had to see... But then there had to be somebody behind the scenes like, oh, no, you got to cheer here. Dude, you're cheering that pick?
No, I wouldn't.
You're cheering that pick.
Yo, just like the thing I was watching over there, the guy had the same exact fucking expression and said the same shit that I said when we drafted Tony. He's like, what the fuck? Kwity Paye? Darrisaw, what's going on?
Because your GM doesn't get it.
I don't understand it, bro.
Your GM is clueless.
fucking clueless to fucking take it,
and I
dude.
feel bad. I feel bad for Giants fans today because whether you are working and you're sitting there depressed, probably because you're working off a hangover, because I would have if I was a Giants fan. I would have been. I would have been hitting the whiskey really hard. And
no, I would have. Now I broke shit. I don't want to break down.
And it's just again, you already gave Daniel Jones weapons. He has weapons. You got Galladay. You got Slayton. You got Barkley as long as he stays healthy.
You got Shepard. And you
How
got
is
Ross.
Daniel Jones going to be successful with nobody protecting him?
Exactly.
It's not going to work. The Jets, see, throughout the whole broadcast last night, the Jets were getting crucified because they're making the moves now they should have made with Sam Darnold. But here's the thing, and this is why I can't stand ESPN. You're crucifying a team that had inept GMs before Joe Douglas came along.
Yeah.
Okay? You had friggin' Mike Tannenbaum. That guy was a fucking utter idiot. Okay? You had Mike McCagnon, another idiot. And you have Joe Douglas, who, okay, he placated to what the Jets fans wanted to hear with Darnold. Okay? So we're not going to go down that road again. But you know what? This guy went into this draft with the biggest balls anybody's probably ever seen.
And he pulled it off, though.
Nobody expected them to trade out of that 23rd pick because all they were saying was, remember the draft with Darrelle Revis.
Yep.
All right? And who had the pick after them?
You guys.
The Steelers did. And we were looking at Darrelle Revis. History changes if they take Lawrence Timmons
and then you guys
and we take Darrelle Revis.
Yes.
Because then we got the hometown boy and things would be a lot, and things would have been a lot different. Darrelle Revis would probably be the same Darrelle Revis, whether he wore green and white or black and gold. Okay, he'd be the same caliber player. Let's just call it what it is. And that's all they kept talking about was how history could repeat itself. Once the Jets traded up, I was still nervous because you had Miami, and they could have went any direction. You had Indy, who, if they wanted to be douchebags, they could have went and got Najee and had a two-headed monster with friggin' what's his face, and then getting Najee. And then I got you see Jacksonville Jaguars fans, they're knocking getting a team at 25.
What?
Because they got James Robinson. But James Robinson is a good little running back.
He is.
But you drafted Trevor Lawrence. You didn't think Urban Meyer is going to bring in somebody who Trevor Lawrence who's had comfortability with playing with? Mm-hmm. Come on, Jacksonville Jaguar fans, all six of you.
Another thing, Edwin, by the way, with that Kadarius Toney pick, what's up with Rashad Bateman?
Oh, speaking of which, and this was great, because once Baltimore picked Rashad Bateman, everybody said, just another wide receiver for Lamar to overthrow. So, rest in peace to your career before it even started.
I know,
Sorry.
Man. You could have been a Giant if I was picking. Actually, nah. I wouldn't have picked you up. I would have picked Christian Darrisaw. No, Quiddipaye I would have picked probably. Or Christian Darrisaw probably.
No, I would have went with Quiddipaye. And a lot of these guys that got drafted later on, you knew why. Like Quiddipaye, a lot of his weakness is that he has to be coached up a bit. Mm-hmm. And the same thing like with Tampa's pick. Who did Tampa take again? Some tackle.
Tampa took Joe Tyrod.
Yeah, they said he's a good player, but he needs to be coached.
Yeah, they could have found him.
And going to Tampa, he's going to get coached by Arians. So
yeah, yep. So, but from the start, man, from pick number 3 on, got interesting.
Well, yeah, because you
got Trey Lance.
And
I thought they were going Mac Jones the whole time.
And it's funny because, like when we were on earlier, and I know my buddy Sal's excited because they could have went either way. You could have went Sewell or you could have went Trey Lance. And then he posts they drafted the right quarterback. You did for the future, but now you're still relying on Garoppolo because you can't just throw Trey Lance in there and say, okay, you're the starter and you're only 20 years old. That's not happening.
No.
That is not happening yet. You got to deal with another year of Garoppolo if you're a Niners fan. But the upside is you have your future quarterback. You have the future quarterback. You have Brandon Ayuk at wide receiver.
Yeah.
If Deebo Samuel can stay healthy, He's another weapon. You have Kittle. You have to get a decent running back in there. You have a decent offensive line. And you have a decent defense there.
Yeah, they do.
As big of a moron as John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are, okay, big of morons as they are, they have a decent team in San Fran where if Garoppolo can stay healthy and not overthrow everybody the way Lamar Jackson does it, then the Niners are, they're not going to win the NFC West, but they will be one of the wild card teams coming out of the NFC West.
Yo, New England picking Mac Jones, bases like, fuck you, Cam Newton.
No, but it already came out though. They're going to stick with Cam Newton, and a lot of Steelers fans wanted a wide receiver at the 24th pick, but none of them create the identity that we need. We already have wide receivers. The identity we've been missing is the run game.
And you guys address, which is perfect.
And for anybody who's watched football for as long as I have, or as long as my Uncle Joe has, and everybody else, you know the Steelers' philosophy has always been ground and pound. From Franco Harris to Jerome Bettis, Barry Foster to James Conner, Le'Veon Bell. Okay, it's been ground and pound. With the inept offensive coordinator that we had after Arians left, and we had to deal with Todd Haley, and then I'd rather have had Todd Haley back than Randy Fichtner. But now with Matt Canada, this goes back to a ground and pound Steeler team, and I'm telling you right now, it saves Ben's arm.
Yep.
It makes the offense that much harder to contain. Because now you don't know what they're going to do. See, last year everybody knew 1st and 10, he's throwing the ball. Everybody knew 3rd and 10,
you're throwing the ball.
You're throwing the ball. Everybody knew 4th and 100, we're throwing the ball. Okay? Now with a different offensive coordinator, it's a different style game now. It's going to be more up-tempo and more up in your face. And with Najee Harris, it completes that. And everybody's saying we should have won offensive line with that pick too. You need to remember this. There's more than just one round of the NFL draft.
Exactly.
We still have 7 more picks to go. We're going to find an offensive lineman. We didn't find Dotson to what, like the 5th round? We didn't find Highsmith to what, the 3rd, 4th round?
All I know is the Giants, they got to get an offensive fucking tackle in the 2nd round, man. Like Trey Smith or something.
Right there with the 12th pick. You could kind of knock trading back for this reason. Tucker was right there for the taking. He was right there for the taking. If you wanted to go offensive line at 11, Tucker was right there. And Gettleman decided to pull the trigger and go back.
Even at 20, Christian Darrisaw was still there. So was Kwity Paye. We could have went either way and still got the extra 1st round pick from last year, and we got an extra pick this year. I'm not knocking the trades. It's the fucking pick, bro.
I knocked the trade only because of that standpoint that the Jets did with the Giants. Well, the Jets got the guy the Giants, I think, should have went and got.
Yeah, but
hey, again, Gettleman was sniffing paint fumes again.
Next year, we'll see where Chicago lands, and we'll see where our 2 first-round picks come in, man.
Chicago drafted Justin Fields. All you need to know is this: Dalton may be the anointed starter.
Goodbye. Not next year.
But guess what, Andy Dalton? It ain't gonna be long. Because the minute you got a shitty game and you throw for 3 interceptions in the first half and Justin Fields comes in and Justin Fields lights it up and Chicago goes on a win streak, Andy Dalton's getting released.
Oh, yeah.
He's getting released. And you know what? You might as well retire. You might as well retire at that point.
There's also Landon Dickerson still out there, but you can find him at 3rd, maybe possibly in the 3rd.
I think that's. I think we have the 54th pick.
We have the 42nd.
And this is what annoys me with the draft. So for 3 months, we know who Jacksonville's taking. So each team gets 10 minutes.
Why the fuck did they need 10 minutes?
Why do we need 7.5 minutes of Trevor Lawrence went to Clemson? Trevor Lawrence got married. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Ooh, he married his high school sweetheart. I don't care. I really don't care. We knew who they were picking. We knew who the Jets were taking. Those should have been done. And let's go to the 3rd pick. We don't know who San Francisco's taking. We don't know. I kind of knew I kind of knew Atlanta was going to Kyle Pitts, man. But as far as I'm concerned, you don't need 10 minutes to make up your decision of who you're drafting, especially when you're in the top 2 friggin' picks.
Yeah, I know.
You really don't.
Ridiculous, bro.
Everybody knew. The minute the Jets beat the Rams, and it was solidified that the Jaguars were going to get the number 1 pick. We all knew then it was Trevor Lawrence. So we really need 10 minutes? No, we don't. We don't need it. So I'm telling you right now, I'm going to email Roger Goodell, and I'm going to say, this is how you should do the fucking draft. And it should be 5 minutes. And we don't need the whole, like...
introduction shit,
like,
fucking soul.
Like, you want to do the little interview?
That's fine.
That's fine. Go do it off to the side. and just go through it. Because they're literally telling you that they have to get the draft done in like 3.5 hours. This draft wasn't over till like 12:15.
I know. What was that, a 4-hour draft?
We don't need a fight. Listen, I get everybody loves the NFL draft. And I get it's for ratings. And it brings ESPN revenue. I understand it. And it's to showcase all these kids coming out of college. It's the next big step. I understand it. But guess what? I don't need 10 minutes of blah, 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 blah. I don't need it. And then when you make the trade with another team, everybody thinks the clock resets. No, it keeps going.
It does.
Because somebody on Twitter is like, oh, well, how come we don't get a fresh 10-second clock, a 10-minute clock?
Why?
Because you don't need one. Make the friggin' pick and shut the hell up.
Because obviously you trade up, you already know who you're fucking taking. That's why. Exactly. What the fuck you need 10 minutes for?
I don't
second,
need it.
third round, you know, quick. I'm like, all right, cool.
That's why I kind of like the 4th, 5th, and 6th rounds, because it's literally like you have like a minute to make a pick.
It's like boom, boom, boom,
and at that point, you pretty much know who you take.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we're taking Joe Blow from Asshole University.
Who the fuck knows?
Come on.
Like, who I thought the Giants in the draft completely went off the fucking table, so I don't even know. To be honest with you.
I don't know what direction you guys are going in. All I know is this. Again, the Steelers found their identity.
I told you the team would be there too. I told you from the get-go.
I just didn't think that, you know, because they were talking about it on the Steeler Nation podcast, how like when people do mock drafts, it's just, you know, it's them trying to be the GM of what they would do.
Yeah.
And and again, like we said yesterday, when you look at some of these mock drafts, you literally are mind boggled
and scratching your head like, what
by like I'm just like, Trey Lance doesn't fall to Pittsburgh at 24, and there's no way Minnesota is taking Travis Etienne or Najee Harris when they have Dalvin Cook. They're not doing it.
There's one Najee Harris going to Tampa Bay at 32 too.
And there's no way Najee was not even falling that far.
I know.
And oh my God, Marlon Humphreys on Twitter needs to go. Oh, this freaking guy. Oh, you ain't gonna like it when this guy gets drafted by Baltimore. Guess what? You didn't get your guy. They wanted Zaven Collins. He wasn't there. You wanted Tevin Jenkins. He didn't even get drafted yet. And that's who I think Pittsburgh goes with next. They either go with him or they go with Dickerson. Or they also have to, because they were also talking about how we have to pick up another tight end because after Ebron, it's really a who's who of, you know, is Zach Gentry going to be healthy enough to play opposite Ebron? I don't know. And I don't think Zach Gentry's the answer. And honestly, if they're going to go tight end,
Pat Fairmouth.
I think
Hunter Long.
If that's one that you're going to go with the 55th pick or 54th, whatever one it is, I think that's where you pull the trigger. If I'm Kevin Colbert and Mike Tomlin, I pull the trigger, I get Vermouth right then and there. Because again, you're going to find offensive linemen further in the draft. This draft has so much talent in it that some of you don't really know. If you watch some of these tapes the way we've watched them,
oh man, yeah,
of these unknown guys because they went to these crappy schools
and fucking whatever the fuck.
You know, freaking like, you know, Johnny Joe Smith that went to Adelphi University. Doesn't even have a football team, but yet he's being you know, looked at. And you gotta realize, regardless of your team, you have to trying to find the words. You gotta like
analyze.
You gotta analyze. Listen. Everybody knows what their team needs, or so they think. And this is why when people do their mock drafts, you're pretending to be the GM, but and then it's almost like when you see these mock drafts, you expect these teams to draft them.
Exactly.
So like when they had Kyle Pitts going to the Giants, every Giant fan that I know, they gotta pick Pitts there.
Yeah,
but little did you know that Pitts' stock went from here.
Yeah, I kind of knew he wasn't gonna fall off.
And it rose. And it went up. And guess what? Atlanta got what they needed.
And the way I see it too, yo, with the Giants, like, all right, you either draft what the team needs or the best player available.
They didn't either.
Exactly. We didn't desperately need a slot receiver right there. We needed a Kwity Paye. We needed a Christian Darrisaw.
Yeah.
Or the best player available. One of those two.
And that's why
Gettleman's a piece of shit. Go fuck yourself.
I honestly think Gettleman is just trying to botch the draft to get himself out of here. And if that's what you're doing, you were better off just saying, I don't want to be part of the draft, like Joe Judge do it. Because Joe Judge would have drafted Kwity Paye. He would have drafted Darrisaw. He would have probably went and got Greg Rousseau.
We need people to rush the quarterback, bro. Like, fuck, man.
Well, you need that, and you need somebody to protect your quarterback. And right now, you really ain't got either, other than what? Blake Martinez?
That's it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
And you know, and the Steelers got to draft a nickel corner now because with losing Mike Hilton, and then Steve Nelson with that whole dramatic release. That's one of the other things where an Asante Samuel comes into play. Or who's the other? I think like Elijah Griffin. I think is a corner coming out of college. Warren G-Son. He goes into the NFL. He's about to regulate on somebody. That's for sure. And
Aaron Rodgers, Sean Wade.
And speaking of Green Bay, I have to.
What? You done fucking fucked up again.
I honestly, you now see why. You now see why Aaron Rodgers wants no part of this team anymore. 2 years in a row. In the first round, you've done nothing to help Aaron Rodgers one damn bit. Nothing. Not a single solitary. You get a corner at a freaking Georgia.
Eric Stokes, you could have got second, third round. They pulled a fucking Gettleman right there. That's what they did.
You know what it is? They think, because apparently rumors were that they called San Francisco trying to trade Rodgers to San Fran. Yep. Then apparently I saw something when I was at the gym earlier where there's an almost done deal with Denver. And I'm like, that's no way is that happening. He's not going to Denver. And why would you want to go to Denver?
And by the way, Green Bay's GM came out and said that there was two phone calls to not trading Rodgers. He has 3 more years in his contract, and that's it.
So then here we go. We're going to have the Wisconsin version of the Houston, Texas scenario, where you have a quarterback who don't want to play for you.
Exactly, and they do have decent wide receivers as in Scanlon, Lazard, and Adams.
Yeah, and see,
you can't throw to Adams every time. That's where they expect to go.
And I get where Rodgers wants them to draft more offensive weapons, but if you're a knowledgeable Packers fan, he makes weapons. Like Brady made weapons.
Yeah, you're right.
Like Ben made weapons. The way Eli made weapons. And Phillip Rivers. And it was funny because somebody commented on it on it when they were talking about before they announced the Najee pick, and they were talking about the 04 draft with Ben and Rivers and Eli, and they said, and Mel Kiper's like, you come back to me in like 3 years and you can replay this and one of them's going to be a bust.
Phillip Rivers wasn't a bust.
Phillip Rivers, and you know, listen, he never got to the big game, and there's a lot of factors that contribute to it. He never really had that over the top dynamic player with him. They never had, and even when they had a good defense, like the Chiefs, they had a suspect offense. And when they had a good offense, they had a suspect defense. It was never it was never equal on both sides of the ball. And you can't knock Phillip Rivers for what he's done. Phillip Rivers goes in the Hall of Fame. He's got Hall of Fame numbers. So all 6 Chargers fans can cheer for that. But at the end of the day, and this is why I can't stand Mel Kiper. When he was really saying one of them's going to be the bust, we all knew who he was talking about.
Yeah.
We all knew who he was talking about. All right, Mel Kiper, you just for men hair dyeing fuckface. Okay? We all know who you were talking about. And that was the one, the only, number 7, Big Ben. And if I got to hear that we should have drafted, that we should have traded up and got a quarterback, need I explain this again? It took 30 years to replace Terry Bradshaw. And even when we drafted Ben, nobody knew what Ben was going to do. We never thought we'd be sitting here 17 years later talking about Ben Roethlisberger's got 2 Super Bowls and all these accolades and is going to go to the Hall of Fame. Never did we think we'd be discussing that. But here we are. And never would we have ever thought we'd be saying that was the heir apparent to Terry Bradshaw. Okay? You're not finding Ben's replacement like that. Just like you're not finding Eli's like that. Just like Indy has never found Peyton's. Just like the Saints won't find Drew Brees's. And you could say the Packers did it with Favre because Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Okay? You can say that. Well, you really can't say it in New England because I don't think anybody really ever could duplicate what Brady has done, minus the scandals, deflated balls and whatnot.
Multiple scandals, actually.
All right?
Okay.
And, it's Spygate, Jerk-Off Gate, Deflate Gate, your mother's gate,
Out the gate.
Opens your waist gate. All right? And, but, again, just because you drafted one of these top quarterbacks doesn't mean he's the end-all, be-all.
Exactly.
Zach Wilson can be a bust for all we know. Trevor Lawrence could be a bust for all we know. Trey Lance could be a bust. Matt Jones, out of all of them, even though he dropped, he might be the biggest stud of them all. We don't know till they play an official NFL game. Okay? We do not know. And it was, and you can say the same thing every year in every single draft since Moses parted the Red Sea. Nobody knew what Dan Marino was going to be, and the Steelers still get knocked for that to this day that they passed up on him. Okay, listen,
it happened.
It is what it is. That's the past. Let it go. Okay. Nobody knew what John Elway was going to be, and nobody has ever replaced John Elway. Not even Peyton Manning. Nope. Peyton Manning was there for what, 2-3 years? Peyton Manning never replaced John Elway.
Hey, but he broke the touchdown record.
Regardless of that, never replaced what John Elway did.
Of course not. He's only been there for 3 years.
Exactly.
3 years, won a Super Bowl. Cool. Broke his goddamn neck, too.
But you can't, and it's like what I tell Giants fans with Daniel Jones. You don't know what he's going to be. But for everybody to knock him the way Jets fans knock Darno, look at what your team puts around these quarterbacks. That's the key factor that you're not thinking about. So when Gettleman doesn't put an offensive line around the quarterback, how do you expect him to get the ball out? How do you expect Barkley to break one off for 20, 30, 40 yards? The same way, and the same thing on the Jets side of it. How do you expect Darno to flourish when you gave him Brashard Perriman?
Yeah, honestly, bro, like
Frank Gore? No,
how old is that guy?
555.
Right.
And then you went and got Le'Veon Bell with no offensive line. And then
he did nothing.
And then you sit there and say Le'Veon's nothing. Le'Veon's garbage. No, it's not. It's not that.
Still that.
You got a Le'Veon Bell that would have flourished had you put an offensive line in front of him. You expected him to do the same things he did in Pittsburgh without an offensive line. Here's what Pittsburgh had for Le'Veon Bell: an offensive line. You had Ramon Foster, Marcus Gilbert, Marquise Pouncey. Need I go on? That's why Le'Veon Bell, for a second-round draft pick, played in Pittsburgh like a first-round draft pick.
You're damn right, he did.
Okay? For all the nonsense off the field, Le'Veon Bell was that running back.
He was, dude.
That if he kept his head straight and wasn't such a prima donna diva bitch.
Didn't listen to his fucking stupid agent either.
Okay? He would be the guy still in Pittsburgh.
And you guys wouldn't have drafted a team. And you guys would have won somewhere else.
Well, Najee.
Oh, well, yeah.
Well, I think they still would have went and got Najee anyway. Because you figure by this point, Bell would be somewhat going towards a decline. So you would have went and got Najee anyway. Or Bell could still be in top form in his prime, and then Pittsburgh would be like, you know what? Two-headed monster.
Oh, pull the same shit the fucking Saints did with Kamara and fucking Ingram, huh?
And I don't know what I don't know what the Saints are doing. Taysom Hill is not the answer for you guys.
I know.
I think that's why the Saints, honestly, Trust the Grind said that it's going to be Tampa and the Saints. Honestly, I think Atlanta hops
the Saints
over the Saints because you have the established quarterback in Matt Ryan. If you really think the Saints are going to be a playoff team with Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill, and you're going to rely on Kamara to be the whole offense, because let's call it what it is.
Kamara is basically the whole offense.
If I'm a Saints fan, I don't trust Taysom Hill getting Michael Thomas 10 catches, 100-plus yards. I don't trust Jameis Winston, even with LASIK eye surgery. He's still going 30 for 30. Okay, he could do all that, eat them all he wants.
Dirty, that's what I call
Eat them interceptions. All right, and the Saints like the Browns. Even though the Browns got a good pickup in Greg Newsome, they're still taking a step back.
Yeah.
Baltimore still taking a step back. Because
Greg Newsome
with that pick, Baltimore had the 27th and the 31st pick, right?
Yep.
Because with the trade with Orlando Brown.
Yep.
Because for whatever reason, Baltimore thinks Alejandro Villanueva is going to be the guy. No, he's not. And this is coming from a guy who watched Alejandro Villanueva play. He's on the decline. Again, good job, Baltimore. Okay? If that's what you're banking on, Lamar is as good as dead.
Yeah, I know.
They should have went. You traded an offensive lineman. You should have replaced him.
Exactly. That's exactly
if anything, Baltimore had 2 picks. They should have traded up and got Tucker. That's what they should have done. But no, you get another wide receiver that you don't need. Well, actually, no, because you have Watkins. So getting Bateman makes sense because Watkins will tear his hamstring trying to catch a ball overthrown. And Marquise Hollywood Brown, the bootleg version of his cousin or his uncle, whatever Antonio Brown is to him, okay? You ain't shit either in Baltimore.
Nah.
And yet, Browns fans, and I hated, oh my God, I hated the draft being in Cleveland. I literally looked at every Browns fan, I go, you were created by 2 cousins sleeping together. You inbred pieces of shit.
But the one guy, I do have to give one upside to Kadarius Toney. When he has the ball in his hands, he can make cuts. He's like a rubber band, bro. That's the one good thing about him. But we could have found him later. Anyways.
Yeah, but the issue is without an offensive line, how you getting him the ball?
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Because
that's why I said the one.
Because if you're gonna do those little bubble screens, right?
That's it.
And there's nobody there to block for him. You're gonna go from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 20. So
we also need a fucking blocking tight end too, man. And I would like to take Pat Fairmouth too at 42.
And this is now where, if Steeler fans want to draft a quarterback, from here on out is where you can find him.
Ian Book's out there, Kyle Trask out there.
Because during the Steeler Nation podcast, right? So like they had that they had the girls from the Yinzer podcast on, and they had Kevin Dotson on, and they interviewed Highsmith earlier, and how were they talking about? Strong. I had it and I just lost it. But they were talking about how we need to find Ben's replacement, and they were talking about the quarterback depth and how now that they signed Mason to a 1-year, $5 million extension, which they overpaid by $5 million. Okay.
Well, they probably just did that just in case something happened to Ben this year. That's probably why.
But you can still get another quarterback. You could go and get Trask or Ian Book
or David Mills
and put them all. And have them battle it out, and whoever's going to be the backup is going to be the backup.
I don't think Josh Dobbs is the answer. You know,
Josh Dobbs to me should just retire. He should be like an offensive coordinator or a quarterback's coach. Is what he should be.
Mason definitely is not the answer.
No.
And Dwayne Haskins.
See, Haskins has got the talent. He's got the talent because if you go and watch his tapes at Ohio State, you can see his positives and his negatives.
He's got to grow up.
His biggest negative is that he came out of college and thought, oh, I could be this. I'm
the man. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
I could go to strip clubs till 3-4 a.m. and
Johnny Manziel
and be another Jamarcus Russell. Okay. If Dwayne Haskins fixes his maturity and becomes more mature, the sky's the limit.
And studies that fucking tape and studies that playbook and plays.
He has the biggest opportunity to flourish
in Pittsburgh.
Being in Pittsburgh.
Yep. Under Mike
just
Thomas
like he would have had the biggest opportunity if he went to, let's say, Green Bay. If he went to Tampa. Even if he stayed in Washington and learned from Alex Smith. But he blew his chance there.
He fucking blew it.
And even I think Ron Rivera came out and even said it. That if Haskins was more mature, he'd still be here and he'd be replacing Alex Smith. But
guess what?
Fucked up, kid.
Yep. Now you can be sitting the fucking bench keeping that shit warm for a while.
Yeah, well,
especially if the Steelers do take a fucking quarterback in one of these.
If they take Trask, and again, I don't think Kyle Trask is I think Kyle Trask will be there past the second round.
Oh yeah, he'll probably.
Because this,
I think all the quarterbacks are basically done until third, fourth.
Unless Green Bay decides with their next pick, they're going to take Kyle Trask.
Yo, I mean, I feel bad for Rodgers though. I will feel so
Listen,
bad.
Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. I said it last night. I'm not going to knock Aaron Rodgers. What I'm going to knock is when everybody puts him on this pedestal, and the same ones that do that are the same ones where Ben's on the same pedestal. Right? They're on the same pedestal. Mm-hmm. Yes, I bought a lunatic cigar because it's the celebratory Najee cigar. Yes, it is huge, and yes, I do smoke it. Okay? They're on the same plane. Okay? They're on the same level. So if you're putting Rodgers here and putting Ben here, then I don't want to hear it. Don't talk. Because they're both here. They're both here.
No, they're both dynamic caliber quarterbacks, bro.
Both there.
They both make the fucking team better.
Okay.
Without them, there is no team. Put it that way.
If you don't have Ben Roethlisberger, the Steelers would be consistently a 3-13 team. If you didn't have Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay is the Green Bay version of the Cleveland Browns. Okay?
Yep.
All the hype and then the big, and that's why I'm telling you, Cleveland takes a big step back. Because if you really think Odell Beckham Jr. is going to start the year in Cleveland, he's not. I don't think he is.
I feel so fucking bad for him, bro. He's man.
I mean, and you could say that Cleveland's got a good defense. Yeah, because they got Myles Garrett. They got Denzel Ward. And yeah, they got the two-headed monster and Kareem and Nick Chubb. But guess what? Again, any given Sunday, Baker could go down and tear his ACL for all we know.
Exactly.
God, I'd love to see that. Then we don't have to see those stupid-ass freaking commercials anymore.
And for Cleveland, if Cleveland take Greg Newsome, though, in the first round when he's like a third rounder, I don't know what they were thinking, man.
Well, Cleveland really, and this isn't to give Cleveland any credit, but if you think about this, they really have no holes. They got running backs, they got tight ends, they got wide receivers, they have, I guess you call them a quarterback, they got a decent secondary. What were they really going to do there?
Best player available. And that wasn't Greg Newsome, tell you that much.
No. They could have went and got Elijah Moore if they really wanted to.
Oh yeah.
You know, they could have
went a whole bunch of different ways, but fuck it, who cares?
And here and the thing is this, and if ESPN's gonna have the draft, do we really need Booger McFarland on there? Do we really? So what I'm telling you here, Lewis, is that with the first pick, Trevor Lawrence is gonna be a Jacksonville Jaguar. No shit, Booger McFarland. No shit. And Mel Kiper. Oh, I can't. I don't need to know your top five because your top five's always wrong anyway.
I know.
He had Mac Jones going top five. Where did Mac Jones go, Mel Kiper?
15.
Where'd he go? Yeah, 15 in New England. He's eating bowls of clam chowder right now. Guy's friggin' built like a Lego. The hell out of here. You know who he looks like? When they showed him walking, right? Mac Jones. He looks like, if you ever seen the first X-Men movie, when like the governor or the mayor comes out of the water after he's been like infected and becomes like that gel type thing. The way he walks out, that's his build. He looks like he has no spine, no nothing. He's just skin and just like limbs. And speaking of pussify, see, so after the draft and they all took all like the top picks took pictures together. Zach Wilson found out then and there he ain't in BYU no more. He looks shook.
Yeah, but dude,
he literally looked like he took his first walk into Southside Jamaica, Queens, and immediately regretted it.
Yo, he's like, I cannot wait to go to New York City. Motherfucker's staying in fucking Jersey.
Yeah, they really got to correct that. How are you the New York Jets, the New York Giants, and you play in New Jersey? It's almost like the Sixth Family with the Sopranos. You know, you got this, and this over here in New York, and then you got this cockamamie bullshit over here in Jersey. Come on. Well, the Jets could have had the Southside Stadium, but
the Jets
there was a lot of BS
with that. The Jets did the right thing, though, man. They got the quarterback and they got the offensive lineman that protects the quarterback, which we should have did. But no, it's all right, cool.
Don't worry.
It's all right.
What David Gettleman should do is he should get on the phone with Joe Douglas. Be like, how do you draft? Or you know what he should do? Stop at Barnes and Nobles before you go to the draft room.
Book.
Which, by the way, the Giants draft room looked like they were in a high school teacher's lounge.
It's fucking hard, bro.
Okay, that's what it looked like, and he should stop at Barnes and Nobles and get a How to Draft for Dummies book. because he looked like a dummy last night. How is Joe Judge sitting there happy about this pick? If I'm Joe Judge, I'm literally burying my hand, my face in the palms of my hand and asking for a Glock 9 to the back of my head and put 2 in the back of the head like a bowling ball.
Dude, fucking right after us,
You're
bro.
setting Joe Judge up to fail.
Exactly.
That's what Gettleman is doing.
You're setting fucking Daniel Jones up to fail.
You're setting Barkley up to fail. You're setting this defense up to fail. Jason Garrett's already a failure.
Yeah, I know.
And listen, and as far as Dallas goes, you got to give Dallas an A. You got to give Dallas an A for what they did. Listen, they wanted their guy and knew where he would fall, and Jerry Jones pulled the trigger. For what everybody says about Jerry Jones, and I even said it in the Steelers because it's in the podcast. They have like a little chat room, and you can say things, like how we got shouted out a couple of times. And sorry, I'm gonna live this up forever because because when I started this by myself and then bringing you in, never did I think it would be where it is. Mm-hmm. Right? So they were talking about Dallas and how Dallas just invests money in anything. So I said, well, we're all in this chat room, we're all watching you guys talk. You think Jerry Jones will invest money in any of us? I said, I've played football. Invest money in me.
I play football too, man. Shit.
I could probably do better than Zeke.
You probably could. Yeah, you got that build. Yeah, you could.
I got that build. Got the brow. I got them 26-inch pythons like Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, man, fucking Dallas. As soon as Patrick Tam was gone, you already know fucking Jerry Jones was just be like, nah.
I really thought they would have stayed there and took Khalid Farley, but
yeah, but they have 2 back surgeons and shit.
Poor Khalid Farley. Everybody else had their family there, and then there's this kid, and then there's this kid in his bedroom, just like, yeah, I got drafted. Yay for me. Yay for me. Yay for me.
Well, he went to Tennessee because of Dory Jackson with us. Funny.
Yeah, and again, that is a huge gamble with Tennessee taking Khalid Farley there.
With 2 back surgeries, bro.
I thought they might have went wrong. Even though they got a beast in Derrick Henry, right? A part of me was like, Mike Rabel could really be the one that does this. You would, and Titans fans would scratch their heads, and why they would is beyond me, because I would be sitting there going,
that's a very intelligent pick.
If I was a Titans fan, like a knowledgeable one, like I am a Steeler fan, you'd be like, okay, they got Najee. I see what this motherfucker's spitting. Bet. All right.
Cook and Najee. Oh my God.
You want to go with Derrick Henry and Najee? Both from Alabama?
Alright. I see what time it is, brother.
And Alabama had the most players drafted in the first round with like 9. Northwestern had 2, which is unheard of for Northwestern.
Clemson had like, I think, 4.
And speaking of that, as my buddy Lucas on, what up, Millie? Fucking bitch. The Raiders, what the fuck moment in the draft, taking Leatherwood, who you could have got in the second round. Yeah. This tells you that John Gruden and Mike Mayock have not a clue what they're doing. This is like last year's draft all over again for the Raiders. They're literally going backwards. So you pretty much have that freaking huge Roomba friggin' stadium in Vegas, right? Because that's what it looks like. It looks like the friggin' robot vacuum cleaner. All right? And you're drafting guys you could have got later. If you didn't like what was there at 17, right? Mm-hmm. Then you should have did what the Giants did, and what the Cowboys did, and what the Vikings did, with other teams, is trade out of it. Thank God I'm not a Raiders fan. I would have. I probably would have hung myself on the balcony here.
No, my goodness.
I really would have.
I'm just fucking. I just hope we do something good in the fucking second round, man. I swear to fucking God.
I think the second round you might see. You might see more trades in the second round, and I think honestly between now and Saturday, when the draft ends, I think you're gonna see. I think there's gonna be something explosive happening. I think something's gonna happen where somebody's gonna move you don't expect to move, and somebody is gonna. There's gonna be a trade that just shocks everybody. I have a feeling it's gonna happen because
just like last night. Fuck, man.
Because the first round, if the first round was any indication, this draft is only gonna get that much more interesting.
It did not go the way I expected it to go, bro, at all. Not at all.
It is a nice screen door, Lucas. Somebody friggin' ripped it. I don't know who, but it wasn't me. Probably the dumbass dog.
Fucking dumb dog. I don't know how he got up that.
I don't know. That freaking dog, he gets an 8-ball in him, and he's like freaking, he's like Courage, the fucking dog or whatever. It's insane. And it's funny because I'm at the gym, right, and I'm leaving, and so I bring 2 masks with me. I bring my workout mask, and then I have my Steeler mask for when I leave. And so as I'm walking out, this one guy, he's got like this smirk on his face, and he's like, and he's got a brown shirt on.
Oh shit, that's okay.
So I look at him. Yeah, I'll get it fixed at AutoZone. Yeah, I'll get a Duralast door screen with a limited lifetime warranty. So, so the guy just smirks, and I go, I'm like, bro, what are you smirking at? I'm like, you guys got Greg Newsome. You guys could have had him in the 6th round. I was like, we got Najee. Like, do you realize we got the guy we wanted? You're just mad because there was nobody there you wanted, so you just picked any Tom, Dick, and Harry out of a hat.
Basically what fucking...
That's what you did. Like, let's just call it what it is. That, in essence, is what you did. You just drafted anybody. You just drafted anybody at that point. I mean, could they have gotten another offensive lineman there instead of maybe going Newsome? Maybe.
Yeah, they could have.
Could they have traded out of it and went and traded out of the 1st round and maybe got an additional 2nd or 3rd round draft pick and then just got Newsome in the 2nd round? Yeah, they could have did that, but they figured Newsome's their guy. And I mean, you can knock the picks for certain teams, and obviously the Raiders one's going to get knocked a lot. And Green Bay is just, everyone's shitting on that one.
Of course, bro.
And again, whether you're a Packers fan, whether you like Aaron Rodgers, or you're in love with Aaron Rodgers, or you hate Aaron Rodgers, or you love the Packers, you hate the Packers, a part of me feels for Aaron Rodgers.
No, for real.
Because the guy, he wants to win. And even though I said last night it was selfish for him not to restructure his contract, but it kind of is, because if he did, they could have went out and got, let's say, Antonio Brown and lured him away from Green Bay, from Tampa, with maybe a 2-year and let's say a $12 million contract, as opposed to the 1 year $6.25, which I'm sure is probably heavily incentive based again.
Oh my God,
okay, and you could have got they could have did that, but no, they didn't do that. So you in essence, Green Bay, and you could kind of blame Aaron Rodgers to a degree on this, that maybe that's why they're not getting the weapons. Maybe they're just saying, you know what, maybe we just want you to leave. Maybe your time's up. But they didn't do this with Brett Favre, though. They just went and drafted Aaron Rodgers, but they already had the weapons there.
Exactly.
They were Brett Favre's weapons. They weren't Aaron Rodgers' weapons, but they became Aaron Rodgers' weapons.
Yeah.
Like Greg Jennings. And if I'm Aaron Rodgers, you got nothing left to prove. Go host Jeopardy. Oh wait, they can't, because the guy from Star Trek Generations, who the friggin' blind guy who wore the visor, looking like Cyclops, he's gonna be the host of Jeopardy now anyway. So,
hey, Aaron Rodgers, babe.
But
I feel for you, dog, but.
And then not only that, and then Maurice Jones-Drew is on Twitter. Big Ben in a 3rd rounder gets you Aaron Rodgers.
Why would you do that though?
Why?
I don't see.
You're just in essence trading an older quarterback for just as an old quarterback.
He was like just 4 years younger, I think.
For what reason? For what reason?
And you have to pay him all that money.
Yeah, and you have to take his contract. We can't afford to. So that trade, sorry, Maurice Jones-Drew, you douchebag.
Would never happen.
Don't make sense.
It doesn't. That's why you draft a quarterback.
Doesn't make sense. Let's go to the Hive and get drinks. Yeah, if that place was still open, I think it's like a card shop now. The Hive, what a hole in the wall, Lucas. Oh yeah, he did go with me there. That place was such a dump. It literally the walls were like 70s, 80s, like panel walling. They literally.
Oh my God, I hate that fucking panel shit, bro.
No, and the best part is, the beers were $1. Budweiser was a beer on $1 on tap, and the owner, right, to get off football for a minute, she was such a dumb bitch. Everybody was robbing her. They had one bartender. They had one bartender there. They literally staged a robbery. I'm sitting there one night, smacked out of my mind, and all of a sudden you hear everybody put their fucking hands up. I already know who it was because I hung out with a lot of the people that fucking robbed the joint. They're like, everybody but you. And I'm sitting there, I got my AutoZone jacket on, because I was working at AutoZone at the time. And friggin', I think Ed was with me. And actually, no, he wasn't. He showed up like about a half hour later. And the bartender's just sitting there like, okay, I'll hand you the money. Fucking bartender's boyfriend robbing the joint.
No shit.
That place, let me tell you, you could literally do anything you wanted. You had people doing blow on the bar.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah. You could walk in, people be like, oh, you want a line? Ah, sure, why not? all the skanks in there. Oh,
God, nasty,
oh, Maron, the skanks in there. Oh, my God. Yeah, you had to walk in and get an STD test and walk out and take an STD test. And you know what's funny? You could leave a $10 bill on the bar and walk out with 30. I don't know if they had these two broads. I think maybe this is the night that my buddy Lucas was with me, where there was these two broads from Stony Brook bartending. I was like, what do I owe you? Don't worry about it. Gave him a $20 tip and walked right out the damn door. That is how I made it through AutoZone. Lines and beers. I think half the time I was smashed at AutoZone, just nobody knew it. But yeah, that place was such a dump. And then they had like the old school huge like TV on the wall. They're like, I don't know how it stayed there. And then you had this one guy that would go there and just destroy the place because he got blackout drunk. So
oh my God!
The only thing that was modern was the friggin' music player in there, right? And this friggin' guy Mo is such a douchebag. But the best part is that when Mo would be at the bar though, right?
Yeah.
He would pay for everybody. So I would just be like, yeah, another Heineken. On him. Oh, shot of Jack.
On him.
And literally though, it's not a. So somebody was like, yo, you go to the Hive? Yeah. Yo, you want to watch a football game there?
No.
Bitch, they got 3 channels, and none of them play football. You got channel 11, 12, and 7, and none of them play football. Oh, disgusting. But
I'm fucking. I was so excited yesterday, man. I almost got shut down, but today I'm excited again.
Gettleman drafting Tony is like when you expect to go to the prom with the hottest girl in school, and you go to pick her up, and she's like, "Oh, I can't go. Here's my sister," and it's this Blue Lagoon creature. Like that's in essence what you got.
Yeah.
That's in essence what you got. You wanted the hottest chick at the prom at the 20th pick, and you got like the 4-eyed, lazy-eyed broad.
Like, how many times did everybody say that the Giants have to get it right?
And that's the difference. And this is why the Jets put themselves in a prime position now to be the talk of New York football for at least the next 2-3 years in the positive light, whereas the Giants will be the talk of football in New York in the negative light, and it'll get crucified everywhere from us talking about it to WFAN talking about it to ESPN talking about it to everybody. Radio stations in California are probably ripping it.
Yo,
okay?
I hope we fucking get like Landon Dickerson or something in the second round. We have to get an offensive lineman.
Every time I saw a draft, every time I saw a trade in draft, I'm like, oh, the Steelers are gonna do it. They're gonna move up. They're gonna take Najee now, so nobody else can get him. But you know what,
dude? You were on the tip of your toes yesterday, bro. You were like, who's next? Who's next?
They didn't have to. Yeah, because when there's a guy you really want in the draft, right? And anybody watching and listening,
as soon as I seen Waddle, right? I was like, fuck.
All right. So if you're a hardcore fan of your team, and for months it's been talked about, this is the guy we need. This is the guy we need, and it's being driven into your head and pounded and pounded and pounded, and now here comes the day. Here comes the day. And he's actually there.
11:30 at night. Boom, Najee Harris. Everybody knew
there were so many other teams that could have took him that we had to. It was literally like. It was almost like waiting at the DMV.
And right after that, Travis Etienne went.
It was like waiting at the DMV to finally like get your new license picture taken, and it's such a long line. But then finally you get there, and it's done. And that's how I felt with getting Najee. And I freaking went Facebook Live with it. So everybody saw my reaction. The towel was fucking waving everywhere.
I was crying now.
All right, you were crying
upset,
in your Giants wash towel, and Jets fans were rejoicing. And I guarantee you, Jets fans last night went through at least 3 bottles of aloe vera lotion when they were fucking rubbing one out in all excitement. Like, oh yeah, we finally got a quarterback.
Yo, I fucking killed it with that umbrella yesterday, though, bro. Saved the damn draft yesterday when it was downpouring.
Oh
Shit,
God,
I
that's why I
killed
hate.
it.
That's why I hate satellite TV.
Bro, I killed it.
This is why I hate satellite
Soaking
TV.
wet, bro. I fucking, dude, that shit was nasty with it.
That's why I hate satellite TV.
But it worked. We got to watch the whole thing, man. I was getting hyped.
And now the ESPN app, right? So the ESPN app. Oh, watch live. I'm clicking on watch live. Nothing.
Well, the NFL app had it live.
Yeah, but because I got shitty AT&T now, I don't get it for free anymore.
Oh, no?
Actually, no, I might because when I switched everything over to this phone, everything is still with the old iCloud account. So it's like if I want to buy something, it has your guys' credit cards. Mm-hmm. And then you have to get like a friggin' I got to figure out how to get that off so I can put all my shit in. But it's going to be an interesting and very, very interesting draft tonight.
Yeah.
There's still a lot. Listen, there's still a lot of talent on the board. Still a lot of talent that a lot of these teams can go any which way. So Green Bay will probably take a field goal kicker, and the Saints will probably take a punter,
and the Giants better take.
And the Giants are going to take
the water boy,
and the Giants are going to take the camera guy from LSU, or maybe the radio announcer from Pittsburgh, or they may take the offensive coordinator from Pitt U. Who knows?
Man, you stress me out by saying this shit, bro.
Listen, the saddest part is yeah, it's a joke, but guess what?
It's not.
It's Gettleman. It could happen.
Better not fucking happen.
They could trade that pick probably for like 3 bags of Kingsford charcoal and a new barbecue. Who the hell knows what they might do with it? I don't know. But all I know is the Jets did what they had to do. Mm-hmm. Okay. The Falcons, in my opinion, with the one pick they had in the first round, they did what they had to do. Pittsburgh nailed it, as only Pittsburgh could do and had to do. Okay. Dallas, Philly did what they had to do. I give Philly an A for getting Devonta Smith because now you're giving Hurts another weapon. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think the Eagles might pick before us. If they're looking to get rid of Zach Ertz, which has been rumored that they're probably going to do it either during or after the draft. If they do it during the draft,
he fit with you guys.
If they do it listen, if it's something that financially makes sense for us to get Zach Ertz, then I'll trade the second round pick or one of the extra third picks we got from the comp pick from losing Connor.
Yeah, so I would definitely trade the third round. Yeah.
So I would do that. Don't be surprised because again, everybody said Pittsburgh wasn't going to keep a lot of the guys that they